This is the Morning Swim Show for Tuesday, August 31st, 2010. I'm your host, Peter Bush. Big interview today in the Phoenix Monitor. We'll talk to Tyler Clary. He just won 3 silver medals at the Pan Pac Championships and recently decided to forego his final season of collegiate eligibility at Michigan. He will now train full-time at Fullerton with John Urbanchek. And Tyler joins us right now in the Phoenix Monitor from Southern California. Tyler, welcome back to the show. How you doing?
I'm great. How are you, Peter?
Good. Great to have you on. First and foremost, I've been seeing Ryan Lochte's Twitter account talking about a big week in Vegas, and I understand you were a part of that crew. How was it?
It was my first time to Vegas as a 21-year-old, so it was quite the experience. I had a lot of fun.
Oh, so who's the crew there? You got you, Lochte. Was Phelps there?
Yeah, he was there. I didn't really see much of him. He kind of does his own thing, so I mostly hung out with Ryan.
What was the most entertaining part of Vegas as a 21-year-old now, if I even need to ask?
It was definitely the nightclubs, that we went to every night. The first night we went out to a club called Jet, and that was in the Mirage. And then the second night was Ryan's birthday party at a club called Blush in the Wind. So it was a whole different experience, and it was a ton of fun. I'm definitely going to have to do one of those trips every year after the season's over.
Well, you definitely deserve to blow off a little steam after a great, great summer. Well, obviously the big decision you made recently was to turn pro, not swim your senior year at Michigan. Why'd you do it?
Well, it had gotten to the point where, I've had a pretty. I'm happy with what my collegiate career shaped up to be, and it became that time for me to take the next step and really focus in on the international level. And as far as the Olympics are concerned, you start preparing for it 2 years out, and right now is the critical time to make these kind of decisions. So it came up to that, and John's one of the best. One of the IM coaches in the world, if not in history. So it kind of made things a little easier to make that decision, and I felt that this was the next step for me in order to represent Michigan at a higher level, at the international level. So it's really exciting. I'm really happy about it, and I can't wait to see what I'm able to do after a year and then 2 years from here.
Did you feel like you left Mike Bottom and Michigan in a little bit of a tough spot?
One thing that Mike told me on the phone, he said that Michigan swimming will continue on without Tyler Clary, and that's everything here. And I know from my own experience that Michigan swimming is about the tradition and the depth that it's always been and always will be, bigger than any one swimmer or even any one team for that matter. So I have no doubts that they'll be able to completely be able to replace me. They've got one heck of a swimmer coming in. His name's Kyle Whitaker. So I'm excited to see what he's able to do.
Will you continue to pursue your degree at Michigan? Absolutely.
There's one thing that was a big concern for my parents, and understandably so, was me finishing with a degree, but they didn't realize how important finishing with a Michigan degree is for me. I understand the kind of reputation that comes along with having a degree from there, because it's got one of the strongest alumni networks in the world. Just having a degree from Michigan is got something to say for in itself. So I will definitely be taking some classes over the course of the year that I'll make sure transfer back to Michigan, and then after hopefully the games in London, I'll go back, take a little time off of swimming, and get as much finish as I can, hopefully graduating in the after the winter term of 2013.
All right, you've definitely solidified your position as one of the top swimmers in the world, definitely one of the top IMers in the world. There is still that issue of, are there too many swimmers for the amount of seats on the U.S. Olympic team? Right now, Phelps is not swimming the 400 IM. That has definitely opened a door for you. But do you think Phelps is vulnerable right now, at least in those events?
I think he's at the point where he's kind of trying to assess how he feels about his career and really focus in on his goals, or the final goals that he has set, because I've heard from quite a few different sources that he's planning on being done after London. So I think that provided that, I think in combination with that, and he is getting a little bit older, I think he's going to be starting to focus in on some of the shorter events. So if there is any vulnerability, I think it's going to be in any kind of 200 or 400 event. But the guy has, I'm absolutely amazed by the guy. He's proven time and time again that he can pull it out when he has to. So I don't think anybody's going to be really going to be beating him in any event that he really sets his mind to.
Well, it must feel different to wake up now, get to make money for what you love to do, and train back in the place where you're from, Southern California. No more cold winters for you.
At least not for now. When I eventually go back to Michigan to finish off my degree, I'll have to deal with it a little more. But it really wasn't that bad.
Well, Tyler, congratulations on the fantastic summer, and congratulations on making what was, of course, a difficult move. But we'll be talking in the future.
Thanks a lot, Peter.
All right, that's Tyler Clary joining us in the Finis Monitor right now from Southern California. That's it for today's show. I'm Peter Bush, reminding you to keep your head down at the finish.